Good day, everyone. It is a pleasure to be part of this year's first PELSET Research Conference on Special Needs and Exclusive Education. And indeed, are honored to present our research entitled Effects of Tangible Reward Systems Towards Pupils' Engagement and Participation in School, AMEX method. Even before COVID-19, there was a problem with student participation. Academic institutions improved student learning outcomes, performances, and reputation through increased engagement. According to a study, 83.4% of students who take online classes do not pay attention to their teachers. 64.2% are not actively engaged in school, and 83.2% do not have close relationship with their friends. Akyol and Nardin 2021 state that teachers who believe they ought to improve professionally include those who believe they are competent in ensuring children's participation. However, encouraging pupils to learn and participate can be pretty challenging. Also, a lack of personal motivation has been linked to students decreasing academic interest. This deficiency can cause difficulties for pupils. Currently, there are no studies regarding the specific types of reward systems that works best to improve pupils' engagement and participation. This reward system will make it easier for students to understand how good behavior and task completion translate into high academic achievement. In addition, using rewards can encourage students to succeed for specific reasons, which affects how they interact with and react to their learning environment. Therefore, giving rewards is critical for teachers to comprehend and apply this information since motivation and engagement are significant elements that influence behavior. Kaya et al. 2018 state that the reward system impacts how engaged and attentive students are during class discussions. Inactive or sluggish students might become active or attentive learners when tangible rewards are used in the learning process. Thus, this study aims to explore the effects of the three tangible reward systems, namely stickers, special certificates, and special treats, towards the engagement of grade 4 pupils at Bayuan City East Central School, Bayuan City, Negros Oriental. Specifically, this study suits to address the following questions. 1. What is the level of engagement in school of the experimental and control groups before introducing the three tangible reward systems in the following areas: affective, behavioral, and cognitive? 2. What is the level of engagement in school of the experimental and control group after the introduction of the three tangible reward systems in the following areas: affective, behavioral, and cognitive? 3. Is there a significant difference between the level of engagement in school of the experimental and control groups before and after the introduction of the three tangible reward systems? 4. Is there a significant difference among the three tangible reward systems concerning their level of engagement? 5. What are the observed behaviors of the experimental and control groups before and during the introduction of the three tangible reward systems, specifically concerning their participation behaviors? This study utilized mixed method, both quantitative and qualitative approaches. The quantitative approach adopted a true experimental design to determine the level of engagement in the school of the experimental and control group before and after the introduction of the three tangible reward systems. The descriptive qualitative approach was adopted through observation to elicit the observed behaviors of the two groups before and after the introduction of the rewards. The researchers conducted this study at Bayuan City East Central School, an elementary school in Bayuan City Division, Philippines. The researchers chose this school because they have many pupils among the schools in the city as well as one of the nearest schools where the researchers are enrolled. The sample participants of this study comprise 4th grade pupils in Bayuan City School, Negros Oriental, Philippines. There are 11 sections, 2 of which are identified as the experimental and control groups. The researchers did probability sampling using a lottery draw, which resulted in Section A with a total number of 31 pupils, serving as the experimental group, and the control group was Section B with 30 total pupils with 61 4th grade pupils involved in the study. Our instrument was adapted to students' engagement in schools questionnaire from the study of Lum et al. 2014 and Hart et al. 2011. This questionnaire consists of 33 items that deal with affective, behavioral, and cognitive engagement. This type of questionnaire is a paper and pencil utilizing Likert type, a scale with 3 subscales evaluated students' participation, affective, behavioral, and cognitive engagement. As the items only represented engagement indicators, only the composite of student engagement in schools was investigated. The data gathering was done in 1 month during the science period. The researchers observed the two sections in the first week of the month. They administered the pre-test on March 5, 2023 using students' engagement in schools questionnaires to the participants to assess their level of engagement before introducing rewards. The reward system will be introduced to the experimental group for 3 weeks of the month while having the written observation. One tangible reward is to be implemented per week. After the intervention of the particular reward, the researchers administered the student engagement in school questionnaire to the experimental group to determine the significance difference among the three reward systems. The student engagement in school questionnaire was administered on April 14, 2023 for stickers, April 21, 2023 for special certificates, and April 28, 2023 for special treats. The rewards were concealed and they did not get to see them. The rewards given are equivalent to the numbers of pupils who participated. Finally, the process was administered on April 28, 2023 to the experimental and control group during the 4th week. In analyzing the gathered data, the weighted mean was used to determine the overall level of engagement of the control group and the experimental group. In addition, a t-test was used to determine if there was a significant difference between the level of engagement of the two groups before and after the introduction of the tangible rewards. One-way analysis of variance was used to check if there was a significant difference in the level of engagement between the students who received stickers, special certificates, and special treats. The researchers asked permission from the parent participants through an assent form, since the participants were all minors. No names or other personal identifying information about specific individuals were used by us. All the documents and evidence in gathering the data will be secured and kept confidential as possible. Teachers and staff of Bayuan CTS Central School were free to report any instances of child abuse or mistreatment to the appropriate authorities when observed during the gathering data. With the result of the study, you can see on your screen the results of the pretest of control group in the level of engagement in schools. It shows that in the three areas of engagement, the experimental group has the highest responses compared to the control group, with the range of affective 3.91, behavioral 3.76, and cognitive 3.76. In contrast to both groups, pretest level of engagement, a post-test was administered to determine the difference between the treatment given to one group and no treatment in the control group. As presented in Figure 2, the level of engagement in the affective area showed that the participants responded differently. The experimental group that had intervention resulted in the highest degree of engagement in comparison to the responses in the pretest, whereas the control group had the lowest responses similar to their responses in the pretest. This means that treatment enhanced the participation of pupils. The findings imply the students with great motivation are more likely to attain their learning goals. Finally, we obtain evidence that cognitive or both groups had different results. The experimental group who received treatments had the highest involvement in class, while the control group had a high-level engagement in class. In order to increase students' motivation to study, actual reward system should be used. The result of this research provides supporting evidence that the use of tangible rewards can enhance the participation and engagement of pupils in school. As presented in the data table 1A, t-test analysis for the pretest result of the control group and the experimental group showed that the p-value in the behavioral area of both groups result significantly. This is the p-value lower than 0.05. In contrast, the two areas affective and cognitive are insignificant and thus had high p-values. This result means there are significant difference in the pretest of both groups. In contrast, table 1B was statistically significant. There is a significant difference between the level of engagement in school of the experimental and control groups before and after the introduction of the reward system. Taken together, our findings indicate that tangible reward systems assist in promoting pleasant and proper behavior in classroom and can give children a sense of satisfaction and accomplishment which inspire them to push themselves more. The p-value of less than 0.001 from the ANOVA result in Table 3 indicate a significant difference between pupils' engagement when compared based on the tangible reward. The group descriptive revealed that the special treats have the highest weighted mean of 4.43, which means that the treats are the most effective among the three tangible rewards. This research provides supporting evidence that tangible reward systems Specifically, special treats can encourage pupils to participate more actively in their academic progress. During the class discussion, individuals in the control and experimental groups exhibited the same behavior. Some pupils are conversing with their classmates, while others are not paying attention to what their teacher is saying and simply minding their own business. Examples include playing while with their things, taking a snack, roaming the classroom, and napping. Some students are also making fun of and ridiculing one another. Only a few of them raise their hands to interact with the teacher actively, but not consistently, because other students who need to pay attention to the teacher are or acting descriptive may sometimes capture their attention. As the researchers applied the tangible reward in the experimental group, pupils actively raised their hands to answer the questions given by the teacher to get the reward. They are happy and motivated when they receive the reward. The majority of them are now focusing on the discussion. During the group activity, they are performing well compared to the other week. However, there are still pupils who tend not to listen and talk to their peers when the teacher calls their attention. They will automatically keep silent and listen to the teacher. However, pupils in the control group had the same behaviors from last week, in which they keep talking, locking outside the classroom, feeling sleepy, and etc. The experimental group is now very active for the second week of the experimentation. From the moment the teacher enters the classroom, they are already raising their hands to lead the prayer. During the discussion, they already led their eyes and ears to the teacher. When the teacher asks questions regarding the lesson, they actively raise their hands and eagerly receive the special certificate. When it comes to group activities, everyone participates. They are pleased and proud of themselves when they receive the reward. The experimental group's pupils participate enthusiastically in class discussion, although some students occasionally disregard the norms of the classroom, which forbid replying in chorus. Most pupils participate actively. They continue to compete with one another to provide the best response in order to receive the rewards. On the other hand, pupils in the control group continue exhibiting the same disruptive behavior from the last week as lessons continue. However, they are also observed at times participating in class discussion. The importance of our study, the data to be generated is expected to contribute to the field of education. Specifically, this study shall A. Assess teachers in determining the most efficient strategy to pursue students' participation. B. Generate and build the most effective types of tangible reward system for teachers to use in boosting pupils' engagement and participation. C. Contribute to educational studies, particularly in the reward system that assists learners' engagement and participation in learning and academic success. This study generally aimed to explore the effectiveness of the three tangible reward systems, namely stickers, special certificates, and special treats. It was determined that there were substantial differences in the level of pupils' engagement and participation between the experimental group and the control group. The experimental group who had the intervention demonstrated their enthusiasm to learn by participating fully in the lesson the teacher delivered. One of the best methods to get pupils interested in participating in class discussions is using the tangible reward system. Pupils who participated in the interventions and received rewards were more productive in class activities than those who did not. They are working quickly, finishing all the paperwork given by the teacher, and excelling in every activity that requires group participation. Additionally, among the three tangible rewards system employed in the experimental group, the results showed that special treats are the most successful kind of tangible reward that teacher may use to increase pupils' engagement and participation. Current study, teachers at the elementary level should use tangible reward system, specifically special treats to boost pupils' engagement and participation. Some administrators can use this study as their reference to support and encourage teachers to use the tangible reward system to motivate their learners. In addition, teachers at the elementary level, including special education, should use a tangible reward system, specifically special treats to boost pupils' engagement and participation. With regards to their condition, pupils with special needs are more deserved to receive a reward. In terms of future research, it would be beneficial to examine how unique rewards affect the behavior of students with learning difficulties to extend the existing findings. In addition to this, we suggest several avenues of research that may be helpful, such as teacher attitudes towards employing tangible reward systems and the significant correlation between students' participation in the classroom using rewards that affects their academic performances. Special thanks to the study participants for sharing their time to be with us while having the experimentation and observing the completing the survey questionnaires. To the teachers who accompanies us all throughout, to the school head for following us to conduct the survey in their school. And that's the end of our presentation. Thank you.